So South Africa versus Ireland is nearly here, and in this preview we will be looking through at the lineups that have been selected, the key players to watch out for, a prediction at the end, and a few stats along the way. But we will start by looking through at the two lineups. Now, we've already done a video announcing the Springboks side. Ireland were announced at 1 AM New Zealand time last night, so this will be the first time mentioning this Irish lineup on the channel. But looking through first of all at the Springboks, they are the home side at Loftus for this contest, and in their front row they do pack quite the punch. Oxnard number 1, number 2 Bongio Manambi, and then number 3 Frans Malherben. No real differences from what most would expect for the Springboks in this first Irish test. In the lock and duo, it is strong Eben Etzebeth alongside Franco Mostert. Those two will bring the physicality. They will bring the pressure at line-out time, and that is something that they are known for doing very well. Definitely Mostert. He'll be able to get that handover, try and cause disruption for Dan Sheehan's lineouts. In the loose forward trio, we see the return of Sia Khaleesi. This will be his first game since that Rugby World Cup final. Did not play in the warm-up game up against the Welsh, but will be playing in this contest. Pieter-Steph du Toit gets the start at 7. He was absolutely phenomenal in that Rugby World Cup final, and what he did to Geordie Barrett in that final is exactly what he has to do to Bundee Aki in this matchup. If he is able to shut down that speed and power that Bundee Aki brings, then it will be very handy for the Springboks. And then number 8, Quagga Smith. They have taken Evan Ruiz out of the side. Quagga Smith actually playing 6 last week up against Wales. Didn't have the best game, but one of the stats later on that we mention will show exactly why that man is in the number 8 jersey. In the back line, Faf de Klerk and Andre Pollard, experience for the Boks in the 9-10 channel. Out on the left wing, it is Kutli Arunsa. Did not play in the last game. That was due to him being with the Bulls in the URC. Damien de Lende getting his first start of 2024 with Jesse Kriel on the outside, actually scoring the opening try up against the Welsh last week. Cheslin Colby out on the right for his first minutes of 2024, and Vili Leroux, same boat as Kutli Arunsa. Both men were actually in doubt for this Irish series due to injury, but both come back and both rearing to go for this matchup. In terms of this Irish starting lineup, it is Andrew Porter, Dan Sheehan, and Tyke Furlong. Exactly what you would expect to see for an Irish side, and these guys are strong when it comes to the scrums. It's going to be an epic battle. The interesting part is, of course, now we do not have the scrum reset, which pretty much means when the referee awards a free kick in this contest, it will be Luke Pearce of England. It means that you do have to either kick it or tap it. You aren't allowed a scrum reset, and I'm wondering how much that's going to play factor in this contest. In the lock and duo, Joe McCarthy at number 4 with Tyke Byrne slotting in as the 5. A very formidable duo, also extremely handy when it comes to the line-out. In the loose forward trio, Peter O'Mahony, huge amount of experience for that man. Number 7, Josh van der Flair, and number 8, Caelan Doris. So once again, no matter what side you're looking at, whether it's South Africa or Ireland, every player that is in the starting lineup has earned their right to be there. And this game, it's going to be an epic one between the two sides. Number 9, it is Craig Casey. Big opportunity for him. He's had a great season with Munster. Now has that international level opportunity for the Irish. Number 10, Jack Crowley. Now the last time that these two sides played, it was Jameson Gibson Park and Johnny Sexton. One out with injury, one is retired. So now the newfound 9-10 combo. This is probably where the Springboks are really going to try and target in this Irish backline. Try and shut it down early with the likes of a Quagga Smith, with Pieter-Steph du Toit rushing up, stopping any momentum for the Ireland backline. James Lowe out on the left wing. They certainly don't want the ball going to him. That man is clinical when he gets the ball in his grasp. He scored a lot of tries for Ireland and also for Leinster during the last 12 months. Bundee Aki at 12 with Robbie Henshaw on the outside at number 13. No Gary Ringrose in the starting side. Kelvin Nash out on the right wing, and Jamie Osborne at number 15. Now a quick mention, the Springboks, they have gone with the 6-2 split off the bench, but the Irish, they have gone with the 5-3. So later on in the contest at Loftus, you wonder whether or not having that extra fourth for the Springboks will be a massive benefit, whether Ireland's fitness can hold up, like we saw for Munster when they played up against the Bulls not too long ago in the URC. But it is going to be intriguing what type of pace this game is played at. We mention all the time about the Irish ruck speed and what kind of impact that can have on a game. They haven't got the same combo though. Like I mentioned, no Jamison Gibson-Park, who was one of the main reasons that ruck does fire the way that it does. Casey needs to step up, and certainly a key for the Irish here. But speaking of key players, looking through at the South Africans, in terms of this backline, someone like a Kurtley Arendse, of course, people love to watch him score tries, definitely if you are a supporter of the green and gold. And the problem that most opposition have is Kurtley Arendse has been scoring them more times than not throughout his international rugby career. He'll be head-to-head with Calvin Nash, which is a little bit of an intriguing battle between the two. Nash also known for scoring a few tries in his own right, but not quite that same international caliber as we have seen from Kurtley Arendse in the forward pack for the Springboks. Most people wouldn't be picking this man because of what we saw in the game up against Wales, but I think Quagga Smith is going to be in for a big one here. He had the most turnovers won throughout the Rugby World Cup out of any player. He had 8 in total, and he's just a menace when it comes to the breakdown. If he is there and Ireland do not get the clean out, he will win that penalty, or he will end up getting that ball clean, creating a counter-attack for the Springboks side. But looking through at Ireland, should mention Jamie Osborne. He's going to have a massive game on his hands. They normally have Hugo Keenan. He has chosen the sevens, which does mean now Osborne is given that responsibility of stepping up at the back. He's going to need some help, though, along the way, and that is from James Lowe, that is from Bundy Arkey, and that is also from Robbie Henshaw. Those three men definitely in the midfield. They have to get the ball out wide for the Irish, and if they can do that effectively at altitude, that may wear down the Springboks a little bit, but it's going to be hard to do. They have to make sure they are strong under the high ball, which I believe we will see quite a bit of from Faf de Klerk and Andre Pollard. But if they are able to do that, they may just get some front foot going forward. But looking through at some of the past stats for these two sides, it is clear at the moment why the rivalry is building between South Africa and the Irish. We look through, South Africa have won 11 of their last 12 fixtures. The one that they've lost was up against the Irish in that Rugby World Cup. South Africa won that Rugby World Cup, but they only have one blemish on their record, and that was up against this Irish side. Also, prior to that, Ireland were on a massive winning streak, beating New Zealand in New Zealand, causing upsets in the Six Nations, and continuing to show why they are one of the top sides in the world. South Africa did not like that. They wanted to be known as number one. At the end of the day, they were the defending champions, but people were talking more about the Irish than the Boks. So this game, I feel like not only is it about this little bit of a rivalry that is building now, but it's also a little bit more about the legacy of these two sides, how they shape up now and how they will shape up in the future as well. It's going to be an epic series. Sadly, it's just 2 matches rather than the 3. They still need to change that, because who doesn't want to see a third match between these two sides? But now we are up to that stage of a prediction. This is going to be extremely hard to call. South Africa home field advantage. If they win this game by a comfortable margin, they do actually only go up around 0.5 on the World Rugby rankings. Whereas if Ireland can somehow pull off a 16-point win, which is insane to be able to do in South Africa, but if they were able to, they would be number 1 ranked in the world, which is crazy to think that is how quickly the world rankings can change. Even if Ireland just win this game, they go up by about 1.5 rankings, whereas the South Africans, they would drop by that 1.5. But for me, I don't see them dropping. I think South Africa are going to be able to get themselves the victory, not just because of altitude. That is talked about very often, that is the factor that South African sides get wins in South Africa, but that isn't always the case. It's also because when you look through at this side, there are hardly any weak links, if any, throughout the starting 15, and the bench is looking just as strong. Looking at players like Malcolm Marx, R.G. Snyman, and also the youngster Sasha Feinberg Ungume Zulu, who has a very bright future for the South Africans. So I'm going to say South Africa win this game. Both of these sides have solid defences, so I think it's going to be a relatively low scoring one. I'm going to go with 22-15 in favour of the South Africans. A 7-point difference, which, to be honest, wouldn't be a mile off what we have seen when these two sides have gone head-to-head in the past. Normally quite a close fixture. I don't see this one at Loftus being any different, but it is going to be a 3 a.m. kickoff for us here in New Zealand, a 5 p.m. kickoff local time in South Africa. We will be doing the commentary on the channel, so be sure to check that out. But do let me know your score predictions in the comments down below as well. Thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all for the next one.